Buenos dias. Hola. Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's Ken at 10. How are you today? I hope you're doing well. If you haven't been here before, then welcome. Thanks for watching. We're here live every day at 10 a.m. We're estate agents based in Southwest London, SW16 to be precise. We're called James Alexander, and we talk about all things property and everything else, really. How are you doing today? Hope you're having a good day. If you're there, give me a shout. Let me know I'm not alone here. Thank you very much. So what's going on? Did you see the debate last night? Did you hear it? It was like two small children saying, my dad's better than yours, wasn't it? The American election was a complete shower, in my opinion. And if I'm an American right now, I'm a bit embarrassed by the whole thing. I mean, not that ours is much better, but you have to say that was very low quality, wasn't it? Apart from that, I hope you're having a good day. Here in SW16, the weather is a little grey, overcast. We've got a special treat for you today. We've got the Norwegian Knitting Gorillas team. We've got Brenda representing them, coming on to tell us all about what they do. Fabulous bunch of people that celebrate all sorts of occasions by knit bombing places. We'll talk all about that at 11 o'clock live right on this channel. So I hope you can join us for that. In terms of market generally, still quite busy, but there's a little bit of a fall off in terms of inquiries, and we're having to work a little bit harder for the viewings, really sort of digging them out from people that have viewed other properties, making sure we've shown them everything that we have available, and buyers are being a little bit more discerning. A little bit of a sense of urgency has dropped off slightly, I feel. I don't know whether that's because people are a little bit more frightened about the pandemic and therefore aren't viewing so much, but certainly a slight drop off. Still busy enough though, and certainly if you're looking to sell, I still maintain that it's probably the best opportunity you have for reasons that I discussed previously. Particularly the reason I think it's a good time is the amount of available stock, and this is critical if you're looking to move somewhere else, of course. And one of the big things that we find people are always saying is, if I sell mine, how do I do that? Where can I go? And at the moment, with the supply of property so high, there's every possibility that you'll find something good. In terms of other things, well, we had a bad review yesterday, which I was a bit disappointed in. Very frustrating. Told somebody that they weren't a good fit for our agency. One of the privileges of running your own agency is that you are able to control who you work with. A couple of our core values are be real and have fun. And if we don't feel that we can do those things with a client, then I'd rather say, look, we're a bad fit for you. You're better off going with someone that perhaps feels that they can achieve the price that you think is achievable and that kind of thing. It's always frustrating, but always try not to be patronizing, and sorry that they feel that they were patronized, particularly because they made a reference to gender. And honestly, I don't see gender. People are people, right? Same. But apart from that, we're looking forward to quite a busy day. Got some great valuations again booked in today, and we're still backlogging take-ons where we're kind of trying to get them all together and trying to get the videos done and everything. So doing the best we can on that. Apart from that, lettings is extremely busy, and our tenants have been impeccable. Generally, tenants have been fantastic. So if you're thinking of renting and you might need help, then do give us a shout, because it's something that we specialize in. Property management is big with us, and we have the most fantastic rent collector who makes sure that on the one hand they are subtle, and on the other hand they let people know that the money has to be paid and they know the rules inside out. That's really important for your managing agent, because it's all very well saying you'll do X, Y, and Z, and quite often people don't understand what the rules are about eviction and bits and pieces. So very busy on that, and getting a good few new landlords inquiring as well. And it's not an easy time, is it? When the first time the pandemic hit, we had a situation where tenants were saying, I can't pay my rent, I'm furloughed. And then when we had conversations with them and said, look, you are getting 80% of your salary, surely the roof over your head should be a priority, we found that magically the vast majority paid and still are paying. So I'm very pleased to report that right now the effect on rent has been quite limited. And that's due in a large part to the quality of tenants that we have. I'm very proud of that, and they are selected by us for our landlords. By and large, we do our best to get the very best people that we can. And again, it's about fit, isn't it? We want to deal with people that we feel are going to be reasonable in their expectation. Most importantly, are going to pay their rent, and it can be nice people to deal with, because life's too short to deal with anyone else, isn't it? Good morning to the Property Jungle. How are you doing, guys? Thanks for mentioning. So yeah, I think that's very important, is getting the right people. And it's often something that people, they look at the money when they're looking at rental. And sometimes this is a mistake. If you just look at the money and look at, what's the maximum money I can achieve. It's not like sales where it really doesn't matter who you sell to, in a sense, the money is the end thing. With lettings, you could get someone that would pay you £400 per calendar month more and agree to sign a contract on that basis and then never pay you. And in these days where the rent period, the notice period is 6 months, that can be the biggest mistake of your life. So you've got to be really, really careful about tenant selection, more careful than ever now, I would say. And there are various ways you should be doing that. And the most important thing I always say to my guys, when we go out and look at properties with tenants, we always work on the basis of 2 ears, 1 mouth. We're listening more than we talk. And we're saying, look, have a look around. And listening, by that I mean, what are the tenants saying? What are they like? What are their families like? How will they be living here? And you can pick up a lot from those viewings, from their comments. And then, go back with a gut feeling to your client as to, these are the people you should be working with, or perhaps these people, they're looking to put more people in. They're looking to put a bed in the lounge, for instance, which we sometimes hear, and we're like, whoa, no, we don't want that many people in the property. You've got to be so careful of over-occupation, especially now. If you have 5 or more people, regardless of how many stories you have in your property, then you are housing multiple occupation if they're not of the same family. So you've got to be really, really careful about that. That's a good question, The Jungle. Do pet owners make more reliable tenants? I certainly think pet owners make as good tenants, for sure. Obviously, people are worried about the extra damage that can be caused by some pets, particularly dogs, and sometimes cats as well. We can get extra smells and extra cleaning required. And these days, some landlords do charge a pet premium, and they are allowed to do so. And that means charging, because you can't charge a larger deposit anymore, which landlords traditionally did before the tenant fees ban. So they would say, for instance, okay, well, if you've got a pet owner, rather than take a 6-week deposit, we'll take a 12-week deposit. So we are protected against any cleaning issues at the end. And now with the tenant fees ban, 5-week deposit is the maximum, and therefore you can't do it that way. So how then can you make sure you've got a little bit of extra money? And a pet premium is quite common now, where people say, yeah, I will accept a dog, but it's an extra 25 or 50 pounds a month, for instance, is quite common. But I certainly think that pet owners are at least as good as other. I'm not sure they're better. I think that's subjective, isn't it? But I certainly think that pet owners generally make as good tenants as everybody else. And as a dog and cat lover myself, I have no problem with it whatsoever. But landlords will make choices on that basis, especially when there's such a demand as there is at the moment for rented accommodation. And so landlords can pick and choose their tenants. And often they do so on the basis of, if they've got a couple of pets. I mean, one thing I always find with dogs, for instance, I don't like the idea of dogs being left at home on their own, particularly because it tends to cause barking, and I'm not sure it's good for the dog, to be honest. So when you've got a dog that stays at home all day and there's no adult with them, no person with them, then I think that can be a problem too. So I think it depends on the family circumstances. If you've got someone living at home all day or working from home and you've got a pet, I think that's less of a problem. And that's what I normally advise, because the likelihood of a dog barking comes from loneliness quite often, I find. Now, it's interesting you say that some agents say that they're more likely to stay longer. I see that, but I think families are quite likely to stay a long time as well. When they're looking at local schools, quite often, people want to get that continuity of primary school or secondary school, and that can be quite important to a child's education. So, yeah, sometimes you will find that pet owners stay a little longer, and the reason they'll stay a little longer is because some landlords are petist, if you will. They won't accept someone with a pet, and therefore sometimes that tenant's choice is much more limited, and that can be a real thing. So yeah, Brenda English this morning at 11 o'clock. Join us live here and find out all about the Norbury Knitting Gorillas. I hope you'll join us then. That's 11 a.m, just under an hour's time. Do tune in and watch live while we talk about the Norbury Knitting Gorillas. It will be fun. Brenda's a great laugh, and I'm sure you'll enjoy. Apart from that, I hope you have a wonderful day today. Take care of yourselves and your families. We'll be back same time tomorrow for another Ken at 10.